Jesus Christ commands, "Thou shalt not kill, for life is a gift from God." January 6th, 1955, message 6156, from Jesus through Bertha Dudde. Spoken by Pascal. Those who are wise in the world are not always so when it comes to instructing others in the divine spiritual. There is a difference between how worldly people judge and how God judges. And for the most part, worldly wisdom will judge in a way that is beneficial to worldly people. Yet they do not consider whether this also corresponds to the divine will. It can never be God's will that the powerful should rise above the powerless, that they should oppress the weak and rob them of their freedom. God has created all people with equal rights and has never given the strong the right to abuse their strength in such a way as to subjugate the weak. The will of men, however, is free, and God can and will redirect the effects of an evil will so that it serves as a blessing to the person affected. Thus, even despicable deeds may ultimately have an educational effect and promote the maturing of the soul, though they may also yield negative results if the will of the affected person is likewise evil. Thou shalt not kill. This commandment was given to you, and you must always observe it. However, every man also has the duty to follow this same commandment, to protect life, and thus also the right to defend oneself or the lives of others. Because there will always be people who sin against God's commandments, who abuse their strength, who do not respect human rights, and who are clearly in league with the one who himself stands as an enemy against God. It is not God's will that an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth be repaid, that man should respond to evil with evil. For all hatred must be fought against, and man must forgive his enemy if he himself seeks forgiveness from God. Yet human life, too, is a gift from God that must be defended by anyone capable of doing so, because life is given to us for the maturation of the soul, and must therefore not be given up lightly. A person may protect their own life. Thus, they are not held accountable in cases of self-defense. But they are held accountable if they fail to protect the lives of others that they could have protected. For then he is just as guilty of their death as if he had killed them himself. For the commandment, "Thou shalt not kill," also encompasses concern for the life of one's neighbor. It is simply a commandment of love for one's neighbor that must be fulfilled, always provided that the person is capable of protecting the life of his neighbor. But concepts have become confused in the world. A thirst for power, political interests, hostilities, and lovelessness have created laws that overturn the divine order. Divine commandments are ignored. People have been taught false concepts of honor. Everything lies outside the divine order, and the idea of mutual destruction or weakening is found everywhere, though it hides beneath the cloak of justice. Man-made laws compel people to disregard the divine commandment, and no one holds their neighbor's life sacred. They submit to unjust demands, partly out of compulsion, partly of their own free will. They treat both their own lives and the lives of others with recklessness. They recklessly put themselves in danger and play with the lives of others. They are unaware of the value of life for the soul, and that is why they are also willing to go to war against their fellow men. And their concern is not only the defense of human life, but also the achievement of other goals, which are always earthly and material. and therefore cannot be of the divine will. The thought of defending precious life is found in only very few. The thought of earthly advantages or favorable consequences, on the other hand, is predominant, and the commandment, "Thou shalt not kill," is discarded without hesitation, or cited merely for the purpose of achieving other goals. Yet this commandment remains as the divine word. Thou shalt not kill, and whoever, of their own free will, and without danger to themselves or others, ends the life of a fellow man, violates this commandment, and will have to answer for it. God will judge with justice and righteousness. Amen.